Greetings, people of the internet. This is Scott with Serkworks, and welcome back. It is Friday, time for another Fan Art Friday, and time for another Star Wars drawing. I guess I can't get away from doing Star Wars stuff. So this is one that I was kind of waiting to do because I didn't want to. There may be some spoilers here as I go on. If I get into spoiler territory, I will let you know before I do. Other than the fact that this character really isn't featured, she's kind of featured in the movie posters. So I guess it's not too much of a spoiler. I'm sure by now some of you people have seen this, but I might get into a little more of her character, Maz Kanata. Which is one of the characters we were kind of waiting to see what was all about. At least I was, because I knew, is it Lepido? Hopefully I'm pronouncing it. No, I can't remember how it's pronounced. Nalongo, I think. I know they showed like footage and shots of her, with the mocap stuff and everything, and also, the other character is the Supreme Leader Snoke, which I don't know, maybe I'll do one of him too. But yeah, so kind of an interesting character. I was still, when I first saw Force Awakens, I was a little unsure about the Snoke character, but this one I liked. Kind of almost in some ways, kind of like the new Yoda. There's a lot of differences too, but and we don't know a whole lot about her, so it could be, but she's like a space pirate and everything, and she kind of owns a watering hole, which is very similar to like the cantina. It's kind of like the cantina for the new movies and everything. Kind of like Jabba's palace was sort of the cantina, meaning like lots of colorful creatures and things like that. But so anyway, this one I am using my Color-Race red pencil for this. A lot of times you'll see me using the kind of the non-photo blue pencil, and I don't know, I kind of switch back and forth between the two. Sometimes if they're warmer characters, and there's really no reason for it, but it seems like if it's something that's like more of a cooler color, I tend to go with the cool blue pencil, and if it's a warmer color, and she's sort of an orangish, her and a lot of earth tones, and her skin is almost like an orange yellowish orange. So I just decided to go with the red pencil, and it's not always the case. I mean, I guess I just did another drawing the other day where that didn't follow that same rule, but I don't know what makes me. Sometimes I just get in the mood to use the red pencil. Sue me. But anyway, so yeah, I got a lot of good response from the last video I posted where I was coloring the drawing I did from the previous week of Finn and Rey and BB-8. As far as this one that I'm doing now, I think I'm going to do the whole process. So you'll see it from start to finish. You'll see the pencils and getting ready now to start, well, I guess I'm wrapping up the pencils, but then I'll do the inks and even splash some color. So, and we really want to break it up into two separate videos because there's a lot of other stuff I want to draw. So, but yeah, got some great not fan art. It's Fan Art Friday. Fan art is on my mind, but got some great comments. Matt Strott, who's kind of been like an internet friend for a while, just kind of someone that we talk back and forth, and I haven't really seen him on like the comments in a while, but he came back around and I guess he appreciated this, and we were just talking a little bit about Star Wars, and he recommended this documentary, which if you're like me, and I guess so I'm gonna hold that thought, what I just was about to say, because I'm going to preface it with something else. So, as you guys know, Christmas was a few weeks ago, and my mom, she put together some old Super 8 footage of me and my brother and cousins and just the kind of family stuff, and gave it to all of us for Christmas presents. And so there's some old like Christmas stuff, and it was really cool to see some of that stuff, because a lot of it was back in the 70s, when I was a kid, Christmas, and I got I'm like, I wonder, because like I always say that my favorite Christmas present of all time was the Star Wars Death Star I got. And sure enough, there was on one of these videos was me like opening the Star Wars Death Star, and it was like so cool. And there was some other cool stuff too. Some of the old like superhero Mego dolls, if you're familiar with those. They had both Marvel and DC characters. They were like they had, I don't know, Spider-Man, Superman, all those guys, and I had a few of those where I was opening those, and a lot of cool stuff. It just things that you forget, and you to see that you opening it up, that's pretty cool. But the reason why I brought that up was because Matt had suggested or recommended a really cool documentary that's on Amazon. If you guys have Amazon Prime, you can find it. Yeah, I kind of had to do a search. I couldn't it wasn't just like flipping through. I couldn't find it, but I just did a search, and it's called Plastic Galaxy, and it's all about the Star Wars toys. A documentary about the Star Wars collectibles. And I finished watching that the other night, and that was really cool. A lot of stuff I didn't know about. Some stuff that that I forgot, like just little things. Like I forgot of all the. I knew they had. They used to do the proof of purchase, where you send in a proof of purchase, and for whatever reason it was the company that made the Star Wars toys was Kenner, but the proof of purchase had a General Mills, like the cereal company. So I don't know if they were affiliated or maybe they were a parent company or what the deal was, but it was a little General Mills proof of purchase thing that you would cut out and you'd mail out. And I remember that was the case with Boba Fett, but then I forgot how many other ones there were that were like that too. Bosk, another bounty hunter, For Loam. Well, it wasn't. I think I talked about this in a previous video, but that there's two bounty hunters, Zuckuss and For Loam. And they look a little similar, and people get the names mixed up. I think eventually they changed them. I don't know if you go back. I think I did some Star Wars like bounty hunter fan art Friday things a while back, and we talked about this. But anyway, I think the actual character was Zuckuss, but they call him Forlom. And what other ones? Nine Numb, the co-pilot in or Lando's co-pilot in Return of the Jedi. I think even the Emperor was a send away to begin with, and I forgot there were so many of those, and different things like the Boba Fett that shot the rocket backpack, and everyone says, "Oh, I had that when I was a kid," and and I remember people telling me that too, and evidently that wasn't the case because they were never actually released. There were some prototypes, but they were never went into like circulation or anything like that. But some other stuff, the blue snaggletooth with the silver boots and everything like that, which my brother actually still has one of those, even though most of our Star Wars stuff was pretty banged up and not in a good case. I think my cousin had this blue snaggletooth, and then my aunt had it, and then I think she gave it to my brother, but I think that's like one of the rare ones because it was only offered for a little, it was only like a mail away. We had that, and we did have it as a kid, but you could when the first Cantina creatures came out, that was after the first wave of 12 Star Wars figures. They made a thing where you could send away, no, it's through Sears, I think. You could order the Cantina creatures, and it had like a little cardboard setup and everything like that. But really cool documentary. So thanks, Matt, for telling me about that. So let's get back to good old Maz Kanata here. We're doing the inking part, and yeah, very interesting character, and I might be getting into some spoiler stuff now if you haven't seen it. You can kind of see right where she's holding a lightsaber, and that is actually Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber, the blue one which became Luke's lightsaber before he lost it in Empire Strikes Back, when he lost his arm and everything. So somehow she acquired this lightsaber, and we're not really sure how. There's just a little line of dialogue saying, I think Han asks where she got it, and she says, that's something like that's a good question, but for another time. And I kind of like that because there's so many people speculating how she acquired it and everything. And I think I talked about this a little on the last video, but everyone wants everything explained like right away. And some stuff you don't need to explain. A little line of dialogue like that is all you really need to know. I'm sure they probably will explain it in another movie or in the backs or like a comic book or whatever, but just when she says that's a good story but for another time, that's all you need to know, really. I mean, that's, this is, screenwriting stuff that, I don't know, people get all bent out of shape about that kind of thing, but I don't know. I kind of like that because I don't need them to hold my hand and explain every single thing. But anyway, she did have Luke's lightsaber, and it was calling to Rey, kind of like in that scene where Luke Skywalker in Empire, where he went in that cave on Dagobah and kind of saw that vision. Then she started seeing visions and everything too. So not really sure how she came across that. She mentioned that she's not a Jedi, but she knows the Force, and I don't know if that means I don't think she has Force powers. So that's more that we kind of have to figure out about her. Never seen a character like her as far as what her race is or anything like that in the Star Wars universe. And she's got these, eyes that can kind of see into like people, see inside of them. So, and we don't know the extent of that, but it was kind of an interesting thing, and I liked how they did that. But I do kind of like the character. I like her attitude. She's kind of a little feisty, like. She was calling Chewbacca her boyfriend and everything like that. Just like kind of like this feisty old lady. I kind of like that character. But so there's questions on how she acquired this lightsaber, and I'm sure there's theories out there and everything. And I don't know if this is true, but I heard that there was actually in one of the drafts that the opening we got after the crawl. Where it shows kind of the Star Destroyer, and it kind of obscures that planet and everything. Pretty cool opening. I like the way they did that. But they were saying that originally they were going to do something where you see Luke's hand with a lightsaber floating by, and I don't know if that's true or not. That seems a little hokey. So I'm glad they didn't do it. And the other thing I don't understand, and I haven't gone into all the because I'm pretty sure in the expanded universe, somebody found Luke's lightsaber in there. I think I remembered that. I don't know how that happened, but the idea of the hand and the lightsaber floating in space, I don't know how that works, because, and I could be wrong, but I would assume since Cloud City is in the clouds that it's not out in space. It's not like out in the atmosphere. There's clouds there, so obviously there's some like a planet or something below. Bespin, I'm guessing, is that, I don't know if that was a planet or if that's just the system or whatever. The Lando system. It's not a system, it's a man. But so you think that would have just fell to whatever's down below that kind of castle in the sky, that Cloud City, that circular thing that's kind of floating up there. I never really thought that it was out like in space, but I guess I'd have to go back and watch. I don't know if you ever see anything below, but just the fact that it's like an orangish sky. It's not like out in space, so you think it would just fall down to Earth, not Earth, but the Earth, the ground, wherever that happens to be, and somebody came across it. And I imagine just because she is a pirate and sort of a collector and everything like that, that it probably passed through a bunch of people before it got to her or whatever, or got traded around, or and eventually found its way back to or to Rey, who, well, super spoilers. Turn this off if you gone this far, but then at the end she ends up holding it and returning it to Luke. Whether we don't see him actually take it or whatever, but we will find out in the next movie. So anyway, like I said, we're just coloring in. She's kind of got that orangish skin tone, and we are just kind of finishing coloring up. I don't know if some of the colors of her costume, I don't have. There's really not at this point. There's not a lot of reference online that I can find out what the colors are, so they might not be exactly it. And I've got very few kind of purple tones. This is a little brighter. I want it to be more of a duller purple, but some of the markers, even though I've got like a new set of markers that I've been using, it's a little dull. But anyway, we'll put the finishing touches. I just got to color in this lightsaber right now. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you guys got some suggestions of Fan Art Friday stuff you want me to do, let me know. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. I love talking to you guys, and I think that's about it. I'll see you next week, and that is all.